You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, sending me on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of No More Future. That's right, No More Future is back. We don't have any main content for the game, but we do have a side story for Mary. So, I am very excited to jump right back into this awesome cyberpunkish corporate takeover-esque world of of Sedge and his crew. So guys, let's go ahead and jump right back into it. Please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes to entertain you. Let's jump right in. Alarm Chan, you are up and let's go. Did you stick with your birth name? I did. What pronouns did you choose for yourself? Let's do, he, him. I don't know. Isaac could be they, them. No, Isaac is... Isaac a decidedly masculine name. You've made your choice. Now you'll die with it. Haha, Sedge. So dramatic. Ooh, okay. Where am I? I ask myself groggily as I begin to awaken, my tired eyes needing time to adjust to the strong lighting of the room. I'm lying in a large, mostly colorless bed, as helpless and immobile as I've ever been. A large blanket covers me all the way up to my neck, preventing me from seeing anything beneath it. Clearly this isn't my bed. Mine doesn't even have a blanket. As comfortable as this cover might be, it unnerves me that I don't even know if the rest of me's still there or not. It's been a weird phobia of mine ever since I was a kid. I thought all my caretakers knew that. Already feeling more than a little upset, I nudge my head up and scan my surroundings as far as I'm able. The room's bright, awfully bright. As I focus my gaze, I start recognizing some things near my bed. Some drawers nearby, some curtains in the back. Some weird medical-looking devices standing right by my side, their long tendrils running beneath the blanket to places I can neither see nor feel. I get the impression that they'd be rather uncomfortable, feeling I could feel them prodding around in my body. Thankfully, the sight is nothing uncommon to me, so much so that I barely acknowledge it before moving on to more pressing matters. Clearly this is a hospital, but which one? I've been in just about every single one of the city at some point, and I don't recall stepping foot in any as well off as this. Everything's a little too clean, a little too comfortable, a little too perfect. And the fact that I can't hear anything aside from my immediate surroundings does nothing to put me at... Ah, finally! Glad to see you're awake. The sound of a woman's voice startles me, and the suddenness cuts my string of thoughts short. As my heart fastens its beat, my eyes lock onto a stranger spying on me from the other end of the room, sitting on a chair I'm pretty sure wasn't there before. Did she walk in through the curtains? I couldn't even hear her stepping in. I was too distracted. Pardon me. I didn't mean to frighten you. And right after you woke up, too. The woman rises from her seat, puts some kind of device she was toying with back into her clothes in her pockets, and begins to approach the far end of the bed. She's a doctor, perhaps? No, that can't be right. I know what their uniforms look like, and that lab coat, if that's what it is far from standard. She's definitely not a hospital worker, that's for sure. Uniform aside, I've never seen any doctor or nurse approach me with a smile like that before. It's warm, relaxed, cheerful, and weirdly unnerving, for reasons I can't even begin to explain. I can feel the primal instincts residing in my brain screaming at me to run out of the room as fast as I can. Pity. I couldn't act on them even if I wished. Good afternoon. Such a lovely day outside, isn't it? Shame there are no windows around here to see it. Oh well. Her voice has an almost pleasant ring to it, and bears no accent I can recognize. It feels weirdly out of place, but much like the rest of her appearance. Or perhaps it's simply a bit too upbeat for my taste is all. This music is really good. Yeah, make that a lot. Whoever this person is, she's already rubbing me the wrong way. I don't know what she's trying to do here, but I can already tell she's trouble. Best get rid of her quick if my gut can be trusted. Can you tone it down and leave already? I was trying to sleep if you hadn't noticed. The feline chuckles at my protest, spoken with a quiet, gravelly voice that I don't recognize. Like something got in my airways and won't come out. Odd that I didn't notice that before. It feels like my throat should hurt like hell if that was the case, and yet it's just numb. Awfully numb. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to scare you. Just thought you could use the wake-up after sleeping as long as you did. I can hear her laughing suddenly underneath her breath, and I can't fathom why. She stares at me intently, as though I were an actor who's forgotten his lines. Eventually, with a weird smirk on her face, she leans forward almost conspiratorially. Psst. This is the part where you tell me your name. Come on, don't tell me you forgot. That'd be pretty awkward if you ask me. Yeah, I really don't know why I'm feeling so weird about her. She seems pretty harmless from what I can see. If only a little cracked in the head. You could have just asked, you know. Again, I speak, and the words still barely come out. It's a miracle she can even hear me. It feels like I'm tossing out more gunk than words right now. Even my eyes are starting to water a little. No matter what caused this, I probably shouldn't overdo it. If I had to guess, but then again, when have I ever? I could have, yeah. But this is nearly the 100th time I talk with young kids like you, and I was trying to do something a little different for once. We can keep it a little more formal if that's what you wish, though. I don't mind. The woman's cheeky retort distracts me from my own thoughts, and forces me to focus onto her once again. She gracefully lands a hand on her chest and she introduces herself. So, I'm Dr. Shelley, but you can just call me Mary. I'm not a real doctor! I half expected my sudden comment to make her mad, but the feline shrugs it off as if it were a joke. Of course I'm a real doctor. I even have the PhDs to prove it. Though I'm not the kind of doctor who puts organs back in people, if that's what you're asking. I could never get over the sight of blood. It really just makes me nauseous. She turns her gaze back towards me, a curious glint in her eyes. But enough about me. What about you? I raise an eyebrow at her question, annoyed. What about me? The woman deflates a little, seemingly disappointed. Yes, that is the question I just asked, all right. Come on, don't tell me you'll melt if you share so much as your name with me. I understand you've got a lot of questions on your mind, and I can't wait to answer them all. And if we're ever going to get anywhere, you ought to at least try to hold a conversation for a little while at least. Get anywhere? I don't even know what direction she's headed with this whole conversation. All I got from her so far is her name, no thanks to me cutting her off earlier, and her tendency to speak way more than she should. I'm tempted to just tell her to fuck off and leave it at that, but if sharing a little about myself is what it takes to get her off my back... Stephen, ooh! Okay. I pause right after sharing it, as if expecting her to reply, but she doesn't. So I add a little more. That's my name. Satisfied now? The cat's gaze shifts onto me once again as she hears me say my name, pondering something in that fluffy head of hers. Stephen. Quite the interesting name. It's not. I shut her down so fast she doesn't even have time to blink. You can keep your empty compliments to yourself. I don't like when people congratulate me over nothing. And nothing's all I can ever do, I hear an impish voice echo in the back of my head. The woman, for what it's worth, barely reacts to my aggressive comments. For a second I almost think she didn't hear them at all, courtesy of this messed up voice of mine. Then the grin on her face widens further than ever, and her gaze grows almost devilish as she retorts. Is that what you think I'm doing? She questions my assumption so calmly, so confidently, that for a moment I can't help but wonder the same thing myself. Before I can even think up a response, however, the woman bolts from her seat and pulls out what appears to be a highly advanced tablet from her coat, really setting it down on the far end of the bed. You know, if I wanted to compliment you, I could have just said something about how well you're handling all the devices down there. She motions to my body, half hidden beneath the blanket, almost apprehensively, as if whatever's hidden down there could have someone faint at the mere sight of it. Most people would be screaming bloody murder over all that. You've been pretty quiet about it, though. Well then, seems like the only emotion the side of me can still muster in people is embarrassment and pity after all. I can feel myself grunting underneath my breath. I still can't stomach when people act this way in front of me, but I've since gotten a little bit better at taking it in stride. Helps that I can't feel any of it. A loaded answer for sure. It's as though the feline was expecting it. Right. Been that way since the day you were born, hasn't it? Paralyzed from the neck down, I mean. I didn't think it's possible, but I feel my tone dropping even further at her statement. I don't know how I was expecting her to be in the dark about my whole situation, especially when it's so self-evident. Probably just some wishful thinking on my behalf. Regardless, knowing she knows doesn't put me at ease at all. Someone did her homework, I see. Well, I had some time to kill during the plane ride, though I'd get a head start in getting to know you before I got here. Again, I raise an eyebrow at her, feeling confused and a little upset. Plane ride? Did she come from out of the country or something? You already knew my name before you got here, didn't you? The growing smile on the woman's face is all the confirmation I could ever need. I see, she's fucking with me. But why? Who even are you again? Some kind of a physician or something? I already told you, didn't I? I'm not that kind of doctor. Then why are you here? I say with a voice that leaves no doubt as to my annoyance with her antics. You've talked a lot, but I still know nothing about you. What exactly do you want from me? I try to word my question politely, but some of my anger still slips in between the words. I never liked interacting with doctors. They always know all the answers, and yet they're never willing to part with them easily. As though they feel guilty over the hidden knowledge they possess. as though telling me what they really think will make me hurt more than I already do. No, not this one, though. The woman keeps staring dead on into my eyes, not glancing away even for a second. She brims with confidence, as if she were ready to answer any and all questions without a hint of hesitation. An unfamiliar sight for sure. I hope that's the truth, and that I'm not deluding myself right now. Why am I here, you ask? Isn't it obvious? I'm here to talk. Simple as that. I instinctively sharpened my gaze at the woman, unwilling to accept that answer. Be real. No doctor I've met ever approached me to just to talk. Good thing I'm not any of them, then. The feline chuckles to herself, content with her remark. As true as that statement might be, however, I can't bring myself to share her enthusiasm. I still don't trust you. Yeah, I thought you might say something like that. In that case, why don't you answer that question instead? Why do you suppose you're here? Excuse me? All that confidence I was trying to show earlier dissipates in an instant before her strange query. What is she on about now? I can't help but wonder. The feline walks from one end of the bed to the other, never once keeping me out of her sights, seemingly for no other purpose than to make me turn my head to follow her. It's not like I wound up here just because I felt like it. I have good reasons to be in this room, talking with you after all. And you? What are your reasons for winding up on a hospital bed, with no one at your side? Why am I here? Why would she even ask something like this? She doesn't she know everything about me already? Besides, it's not like I just waltzed in on a whim or anything, given that it's not even my wheelchair's around. Someone had to have brought me here from somewhere. Oh. That's all I can say as the memories suddenly come flooding back like a swollen river, as months, years of planning, culminating in one fateful night's events, reassemble themselves ordinately into my mind. I don't know how long I spend in this state, trapped and drowning under an invisible tidal wave of half-lucid recollections and long-buried emotions. All I know is that when I next lay my eyes on the complacent woman before me, the confusion in my eyes is thoroughly replaced with hatred. You're the one who pulled me out? From the river? I ask with no discernible emotions in my voice, as my eyes speak louder than any words. She smirks as though she once again expected me to ask exactly that question, as though she expected me to put everything back together as quickly as I did. Not me, per se, but it had something to do with it, yes. I thought you... Why? I instinctively reply, all reason be damned. I realized too late that I may have spoken out of turn, said something I shouldn't have. Last time I was this candid with one of my doctors, I didn't exactly take it well, and things only got worse from there. I don't have time to regret my mistake, however, as the woman is quick to capitalize on it. Odd. I'm pretty sure most people would default to thanks there. She tried to pass off as surprised as she pretends to look away, lost in thought, yet I can tell that she's totally unfazed. I could just be imagining things here, courtesy of my paranoia, but I swear that she saw my every action and reaction coming from a mile away, as if we're taking turns reading lines from an invisible script she concocted. It's not a pleasant feeling at all. I don't know what this lady's trying to achieve here, but I'm getting tired of listening to her rambling, so I ask again, louder. Why did you do that? The woman pretends to dust something off her coat as she answers, unbothered. Well, I'd bring forth the Hippocratic Oath and all that, but we already established I'm not that kind of doctor. But a simple just thought you could use the help be enough to satisfy you. You just thought I could use the help? I finally shout, unwilling to accept whatever nonsense she's spewing. I don't know who you think you're fooling, but it sure as hell ain't me. So let me be clear with you, lady. Your help is the last thing I needed back then, and it's the last thing I need now. The woman pauses again, this time longer than usual, almost like she's genuinely at a loss for an answer. It's quite the pleasant sight, after everything she put me through, sorting through her thoughts, looking for some kind of answer, when the only one I can think of is to turn her heels and walk out of this room. I mean, duh. You clearly had everything planned out way in advance all on your own. But of course that's not what happens. The woman smiles like a kid reveling in some kind of prank, an unspoken gotcha to the incredulous look in my eyes, almost delighted in the confusion she caused, but it only lasts a moment. As she swipes up and begins to sort through her tablet, her expression quickly shifts to a more neutral, almost dispassionate state. Your blood pressure's through the roof, thanks to all the sugar and fat you've been consuming non-stop. Your liver and kidneys are shutting down, likely due to the same causes. Your lungs are so fucked up from smoking, I'm surprised the paramedics even managed to pull any water out of them. Hell, it's a miracle you can even speak at all, given what you're going through. Jeez, does anyone know how shit a job your caretakers are doing? Last I checked, they're supposed to look out for this kind of stuff. She speaks so fast, I almost can't follow her monotone rant. But as the situation becomes clearer and clearer, and reality steadily settles in, I begin to feel oddly relieved at the truth she's sharing with me. So relieved, I feel the tension in my head melt away at once like a sedative injection. In the midst of this, the doctor turns to face me once again. You've been trying to off yourself for quite a long time now, haven't you? In response, I smile wider than I ever have, feeling remarkably at peace all of a sudden. I'm even tempted to laugh, honestly. Though I'll probably wait a little while longer for that. I don't like doing it in front of strangers. And here I thought my subtler methods were taking too long. Seems like all I needed to do was hold on just a little longer, and maybe my old doctors were right after all. Alright, as morbid as it is, that jokey's pretty funny. I don't even need to try to stop my giggles this time, my head sinking deeper into my pillow all the while. I don't know what the feline's face must look like right now as I absent-mindedly gaze onto the ceiling, but I bet she's losing it over there, even if her tone tries to hide it. Well, doesn't that sound miserable? Life is miserable. As cold as my words are for some reason, I don't feel the smile on my lips falter one bit as I speak. It's all mine ever was. Miserable. Born with legs that won't allow me to walk where I wish, with arms that can't reach out for what I desire, with fingers that can barely move enough to click buttons in a wheelchair. What else could my life possibly be? It's strange. Very strange indeed. It's not the first time I've told that to myself. Countless times I've made the same arguments to myself, and reached the same inexorable conclusions. Then I cried. Not this time. This time relieving my mind of these thoughts was almost pleasant in a way. Even more so when I realized I said all that to someone else. But I've said so much, it'd be pointless to stop now. It's not like it could possibly look bleaker for me anyway. Don't bother feeling bad about it, though. This was always my burden to carry and mine alone. All I did was decide it was no longer worth it. Feels almost morbid when I put it that way, though it wasn't my intention. Evidently, I'm not the only one who thinks so. I can't imagine what you must have gone through, Stephen. No, you can't. I cut her off, smile on my lips slowly dissipating. Didn't stop everyone from trying, though. Feels like everyone around me has got to have an opinion on my life, even when I was being clear with them that I couldn't care less about it. A beautiful miracle, a difficult but necessary journey. Just another human, like you and me. A bother to deal with. I hear my head shudder at the thought of that. Already reliving past pains I once swore never to seek again. That's all that ever happens to me when people try to reproach me about this stuff. They say their piece, I say mine, and then we both come out of it worse for wear. Sharing the pain never lessens the load I carry. It only helps others feel worse about themselves. About me. So I'm surprised when the woman makes it as if to speak to me once again, using the same weightless tone she did earlier. Looks like you did want to chat with little old me after all. Who knew the best way to get you to answer was to stop asking so many questions? Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right here. I don't know how long the side story is, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short. I wouldn't say cut it short. We've ran our full course. But yeah, guys, I love no more future content, no matter if it's a side story, the main game or not. Give me more of that, or just inject it right into my fucking eyes. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks, or tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.